I'm going to show you how to do the wiring on a saw today. And it looks like the wiring leads to the switch. And we'll be able to use the old cord. It's just damaged up here. That's the typical area where it gets damaged. Unless you go cutting on the darn thing. Now, as you can see, it is pretty busted. Torn up. So, first thing, make sure that this thing is unplugged before you start working on it. Second thing, make sure there's no blade in this thing so you can easily cut yourself tearing at something. And thirdly, I highly recommend using these. So I will put them on. Now, these take a Torx, and it looks like a T20, I want to say, T20. My toolbox isn't set up, so we're going to go ahead and try a flathead. If it's too rusted, too stuck in there, then I definitely recommend a snug fitting Torx. Here's a cover. If your tool's not starting, it might be the brushes. That's what the #1 cause. And you can take that off and get to the brushes pretty easy. Oh, piece of wood. And it's on both sides. Order those online pretty easy. As long as you have the model number. Continue taking off these bolts. Now, sometimes these wiggle loose. This one I got lucky with. Other times you just kind of have to pry with a flathead to get that sucker open. I'm going to go ahead and put these back. Now, it's highly recommended that you take pictures with your phone along the way, especially if you're new at this. Or have a bad memory like me sometimes. Oh yeah, let me show you this real quick. Here's the inside. Here's the switch. As you can see, the wires are leading to the switch. And then from the switch it goes to the main power point to light up the motor. I had to take off these 2 bolts right here and that bolt right there. And these look like probably a T15, I want to say. But again, I'm going to use my flathead since there's little slots. And this is important. This is like the keeper for the wire. So you definitely want to put this back, because otherwise the wire will be loose. You'll have the problem of it slipping out. Okay. Now, it looks like this switch doesn't have the screws. Sometimes the switches, they have the screws and you can just kind of unscrew it and the wire will come out. But I'm definitely not going to open up that casing because there's going to be springs and little tiny balls flying everywhere and I'm not going to be able to find it all. So this is the old school style and I will need a little pick. Let me show you. You can see I have a little bit of room right there to put a pick in and free those wires. Might have to play around with it for a little bit. So now I took off the white side. I don't want to get these mixed up because you don't want to short the system. So I'm going to remember that white and black and black. Simple enough. There we go. Looks like they're soldered. So I'm going to want to do it the right way and probably solder the end. Yeah, that's all messed up. Oh my goodness. I'm going to try to salvage this end piece as best we can. That way we don't have to order another one. So now, peel the wire just in case. Everything else is good up to this point. So I'm going to go ahead and make my cut. Right here. Jeez Louise. Now what I do is I'm going to go ahead and measure out to see how much wire I'm going to need. So I'll use the old wire and say, okay, I'm going to have to cut right here. Then I go ahead and strip this sucker. Looks like they take that much, so I'm going to go ahead and strip that much. So that right there. And which one? I'll try 12. I could use a little bit more. There we go. Perfect. So it looks like my soldering iron is nice and heated up. So I didn't have a sponge, I couldn't find one. So I'm using an old rag and I wetted it down pretty good. Here's my solder and my flux. Now before I get started on that, I'm going to make sure I put this guy on there because I have forgotten once or twice and had to take the whole thing back apart. And that's just no good. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and twist these guys. Open up my flux. It's old stuff, so who knows if it's any good. Yay, love the smell. Dip it in there. Make sure I get a good amount on there. So now, this is an old table, so I don't really care if it gets any solder and stuff on it. I do all my stained glass on this thing. Okay. Now, white on the white side. And just stick it right in. I have to play with this one for a minute, looks like. Oh, there we go. So now those are both in there. Now a lot of people, they get so excited to get this thing back together that they forget to check to make sure no wires are pinched. So you want to make sure that no wires are going to pinch, that they're all clearing. Now see how this piece rests right there? You want to make sure it's snug before you put this bad boy back on. Now I know this is the correct way because you can see where the bolts used to lay. Double check, make sure no wires are going to pinch. That can cause a real headache. Line this guy up. Bam. Right, now we have a working saw. My friends are going to be very happy. So thanks again guys for watching my little repair. I hope this helps you out in your repair world, and have a great day.